good. That game added 5 years to my life. Such a good cardio workout. I'm long-term benefits.
Thanks everyone for being here. We'll get started with an opening statement from Coach, then go into questions. After Coach, we're going to have Preston Stone, Griffin Wilde, Caleb Komolafe, and Michael Kilbane joining us. If you have a question, go ahead, raise your hand, get my attention. Coach?
Start off by giving a lot of credit to Minnesota and Coach Fleck. I think you saw two football teams that are awfully resilient and willing to duke it out for 4 quarters. Really proud of our finish as a football team. And ultimately, I think we can all be very honest with ourselves within the program and saying it shouldn't have had to come down to that. There'll be a lot to learn from this one. But also, when people tell us about your football team or talked about the character of our football program, and turn on this tape. Resilient, tough, together. Toughness, ability to respond, and just so excited for our guys, for this program, for our fan base to be bowl eligible. One of the goals that we do talk about is dominating in the postseason, and where I challenged our team is, we're playing for a trophy. We're playing for the hat next week. This is our postseason. We secured a postseason bid. We're playing for a trophy next week against a great Illinois opponent, rivalry game, and we got to carry this momentum and make sure that we finish what we started with this group. I couldn't be happier for our players, especially our seniors and our leadership.
Coach, considering how much work went on behind the scenes after you guys walked off this field 4-8 last season, just redefining how this program operates, how rewarding is it to be bowl eligible once again?
It's really rewarding, It's emotional, emotional for a lot of people. And mostly because it's like, I talked about this with Coach Fleck pregame. When you see coaches in this profession that are truly doing it because they got into this profession to pour into young people. With all the noise that we hear around college football, when their purpose is behind that, and I believe that's what Coach Fleck's all about. It's really special to see guys put so much into something and to have them rewarded today with an opportunity to know that we get to do this, a lot longer because we get to, go to a bowl game and, spend the month of December together. Pretty special.
Adam?
David, in terms of the improvement that you've made, how does winning these games validate maybe some of the improvement that you've seen that hasn't come with the wins?
Yeah, gosh. It's hard. It's separating, Adam, the objective from the emotional, right? The objective is, my gosh, we still have so much more work to do. The emotional is gosh, it feels good to get 6 wins and go to a bowl game. But what I can tell you is we have been tireless in just trying to continue to push the needle of how we can continue to grow as a football program in this new landscape. And we got a lot of work to do, but ultimately we only get one opportunity with this group of young men. And the validation that you're talking about, securing a bowl game, you can't understate that. Huge accomplishment for this group.
Gavin?
Coach, we saw you immediately after the missed field goal, embrace your family, go see your wife and everything. Obviously a very emotional time. Can you just walk us through the last moments of the game, first time off of the field, and what's going through your head, who's talking to you, everything that went down?
Yeah, a lot of emotion, so excited, so awesome to see the joy on our football team, specifically our players. I see Carmine Bastone embracing guys on the team. An opportunity to, give Coach Fleck his credit to his team. And, after that, at the end of the day, anyone that is in college athletics and specifically around the sport of college football would tell you, without an absolute warrior at home, you can't do it. And that's who Kristen Braun is. This time of year, she spends, I'm sure there's a lot of days she feels like a single parent. And, we do this together. We do it as a family. And when you get to share those moments, whether it's me with my family, with Kristen and Lucas and Andrew and Blake, or you see Coach Hicks's kids out there or Coach Binns' kids out there, the Thompson crew, it's words can't express it effectively. But what I will tell you is there's no way that I could do what I do without Kristen Braun, being just the ultimate, teammate in all this.
Louis? Coach, what got into your offense today? Especially the second half. Preston was 15 for 15. You scored 23 points.
Yeah.
What happened? What was the key?
It started with running the football. That first, I believe it was a 3-and-out. That's what we're looking for. We were able to really catch some rhythm. I thought Zach called a great game, and just the conversation on the headset was really fun to be a part of. And ultimately, I felt like Preston played fearless. He wasn't pressing, but he wasn't anxious either. He was just fearless. Let the game come to him. It was some of the scrambles. It was just his command. He had urgency today. The guys support him. There were some great catches out there. The O-line did a great job of protecting. The offense was in a rhythm. And, ultimately, there's some critical junctures there in that game. We're up 10-0. Huge kickoff return by Minnesota. 10-7, we get on our heels a little bit. Our defense is reeling and trying to get their rhythm back. Coming out of half, 3-and-out, let's go. Muffed punt, oh my gosh, touchdown, we're down 2 scores. And for our offense, just to say, you know what, guys, the only people stopping us are ourselves, let's go, is a credit to Preston, that offensive line, everyone on that offense, and a great job by Coach Lujan today.
Brandon?
Coach, you talked about the fearlessness and the resilience that Preston played with, and that head-first dive on his last run. What does it say about him and about your program that a guy who wasn't here last year is willing to put his body on the line and make sure that you guys can stay together another month? Yeah,
he's a competitor. He's a great friend to everyone in that locker room. It speaks to Preston Stone, but it also speaks to our entire locker room. Preston is a special young man that I think would be the first one to tell you that, his time here at Northwestern has had a tremendous impact on him. He's also had a tremendous impact on his teammates. But you don't come into a program for 1 year, only have been here for 10 months, and have that type of attitude unless you're coming into a locker room full of an incredible group of young men. And it speaks to Preston. It speaks to our football team.
Chris?
Coach, you mentioned this a little bit. You're down, 21-13. There's the muff punt, and then it's 28-13. But what did you see from this team? What was the spark behind that comeback?
Yeah, gosh, it's all kind of a blur. But if I remember correctly, that following drive, the offense went down, scored a touchdown. We were in conversations down 15, if I remember correctly. Do we want to go for 2 now? Do we want to go for 2 later? I'm a strong believer in momentum. Man, you score a touchdown, let's take the extra point, let's go down 8. But we just felt good about that 2-point call. And our guys went out and executed, and you could just feel the momentum building. But again, it comes back to what we talked about offensively. To me, that was the catalyst. Man, we could have started no, they got the ball back. Put a drive together, and now it's back to a 1-score game. Let's go.
Matt?
Coach, I got to ask about the return game with Corey Parrish. He had a huge 93-yard return. You continued to kick him the ball. He had 6 returns, for an average of 38 yards. If you kick the ball out of bounds, they get it up to 35. Last drive starts at the 44 because you kicked it to him. Can you just talk me through the process there?
It was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. What I'm going to start off by saying is special teams is the ultimate reflection of your team, your organization. And we've done a lot of great things on special teams this year. But when there's special teams issues, there's people that answer to it, but ultimately, it all comes back to me. We tried to kick the ball away from them. I mean, we tried a sky kick. Twice we called, deep right kicks. And we didn't get far enough right where Coy and his aggressiveness was able to get over and field the football. We were We obviously didn't do a good enough job. Should we have squibbed it? Should we have just kicked it out of bounds? In evaluation, we got to look at all that. But we got to look at the personnel on our kickoff team. It was not for a lack of effort. Our guys were, they wanted the opportunity to go down and cover kicks. But to give a player of that caliber continued opportunities to change the game ultimately comes back on me and is a failure on my part. It was not intended, but it hurt us, and we got to fix it.
Last question, Charlie.
So, Coach, Hayden Elegans had a career high in receiving yards with 127 today, along with Griffin Wilde, also 100 yards. But what did you see from Hayden really going out there and making some big catches?
Yeah, number one, proud of him. Like, first play of the game, he gets a little dinged up, and I think there's a maturity in just the way that he shook that off and responded. But I'll tell you what, Hayden's got, and this is a good quality, but Hayden's got some give me the ball in him, in a good way. I want the ball in my hands with the game on the line. And for a second-year guy to have that type of attitude and that type of confidence, and to see the rhythm that's been created between him and Preston, and Griff playing at the level that he is, a lot to look forward to.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone.
Questions for them? Make sure you direct your question to them, as we only have 2 mics. Chris?
Griffin and Michael, what was it like watching a Preston Stone legacy game where he's 15 for 15 in the second half?
I can start with that. Yeah, kid's a baller. That's what he does, and that's what that's what everyone on the team is aware that he can do. And for him to go out and just do it, just play ball, just prove that he's our guy, and he's an amazing football player. It was really awesome to see him dominate today.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Being a defensive player, just being able to watch him and go out there and ball out, I just had so much confidence in him, and it was really awesome to just see him and our whole offense just click on all cylinders.
Yeah.
For Preston, this offense, this season, especially during the losing streak, has gotten a lot of flack for, settling for field goals or, against Michigan not being able to get a first down late in the game. But to have a performance like today, 525 total yards, 3 consecutive touchdowns at that point in time, have the big rally. How rewarding is it for you as the captain and leader of this offensive unit to kind of see everything come to fruition this way?
The beast. The beast.
That's awesome. How about Caleb Komolafe? No, today it was very rewarding. I think this might be the most complete offensive game I've ever been a part of in college football. The O-line kept my jersey clean all day. Receivers were making plays. The Beast and Joe were toting the ball, and so just super grateful to come out and play with these guys.
Brendan?
Preston, that final run you had on the 3rd and 15 to set up that field goal from Jack, what was going through your head on that run?
Just go score. Yeah. We had it's a bit of an RPO. If they had a light box, I was gonna keep it on the quarterback draw, and O-line and Como did a great job blocking it up, and just tried to get as many yards as I can.
This goes for any of you, but just how much did all the work you guys put in the offseason starting last January go into building this where you're now ball eligible for the second time in 3 seasons?
Yeah, everything went into this. Just being able to set the standard from the beginning of January and just be able to uphold that thing all the way through November and now eventually December. That's just I think everything just went into that, and having great leadership on the team is just seeing that come to fruition is awesome.
Louis?
Preston, I asked Coach Braun. He said you were fearless out there. He thought you weren't anxious. You were just letting it go. And what did you feel out there today? And what was the difference today versus earlier in the season?
I think one of the coolest moments I ever had in college football happened today, and it was in the locker room at halftime, and Coach Braun comes over. I'm sitting down, and he just prays over me, and he prays for a spirit of fearlessness, and to just put it all in God's hands. And so to have our leader and Coach Braun come and do that for us, that was an incredibly special moment, and I really feel like allowed me to play free, and just his presence on the sideline throughout the entirety of the game, through the ups and downs, really allowed our whole ball team to play free.
Charlie?
For Griffin and Preston. So, Griffin, you were part of first Northwestern wide receiver tandem to go for each over 100 yards in the last 12 years. So, what is it like to have a career day, 11 catches, 111 yards. And Preston, what was it like getting to throw it to Griffin and Hayden today?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome to have a guy like Hayden Elligon on the opposite side of you is something that's special. I mean, you saw his ability to go up and make a play when we needed it. Late in the game, had that toe tap on the sideline. He had multiple toe taps today, actually. And then, obviously, that big play that he had over the middle and just getting some yak and getting us going. Hayden Elligon's a great player. And to have someone like that on the opposite side of you, it helps yourself out a lot. And so when you got two guys and Ricky and all those guys making huge plays too on that scramble, but when you have two guys that have the ability to do that and kind of are working off of each other, it's going to be really complicated for a defense to cover both of you.
Real quick, does anyone have a question for Kilbane? Yeah, back here.
Michael, obviously missing Richie and Hayden today, tough for the defensive line. How were you able to establish your technique and get in the backfield so often on a day like this?
You know, missing those guys, it's really, really, like, a tough loss for us. But, you know, those guys are still around us. They're still helping us, like, mentoring, like, everyone on the D-line. Just, you know, we have a sense of, like, brotherhood in the D-line. Like, we really want to play for each other and do, like, everything, like, the best for each other. And I think that kind of just goes into, like, being able to, like, you know, make plays, like, not only me but everyone on the D-line, just, like, being able to hold it down. I think that's just something that's, like, really special about our position unit.
Yeah, Michael, anything for you in the halftime stand out for you in the defense? 21 points in that second quarter, and then second half only give up 14. What was the message to the defense?
You know, we just had to keep, like, being ourselves. You know, like, we made some mistakes, but, like, you know, we had to go back out there, do our job, and execute. That was the main message from McGargle. He said just, like, do our job and go execute. And we knew that, like, if we did that, we could end up with a win like we did today. So I think that was just, like, the main thing that we had to focus on.
Thanks, Michael. You're good. We're going to swap you in for Mr. Komolafe over there.
Beast.
We'll resume questions for all three. Yeah, Charlie.
This is for Caleb. So first off, welcome from wherever. But the question is, so you had a great day, obviously, but after being at Wrigley Field over these past few years and seeing all these losses, what does it feel to finally get that first ever win for Northwestern football at Wrigley?
It's a great feeling. I mean, this is something we work hard for, but also playing at a place like Wrigley, it's just awesome to get a victory here. It's an outstanding place to be at, and, you know, it just goes to the work that we've been putting in over the years.
For Preston, I mean, this guy been asked about a few times, but you know, going into this game, you hadn't had a game with 200-plus yards against a Big Ten team. Not only that, you have 300. You're also at this inflection point down 28-13, riding a few game losing streak. You know, frankly, I think a lot of teams don't come back from that, but you led your team on a comeback. What was your message and mentality at that point in the game? Is there a lot of words said, or is it more of just leading by example?
You know, from a personal standpoint, it's just doing my job, you know, executing the play that gets called. And then from kind of a collective team mindset, you know, there really wasn't a lot of rah-rah. It was just, you know, play for the man next to you and go out and do what we've been doing since January. You know, this team has the capability to win and play against anybody in the entire country. And, you know, I just couldn't be more proud of how the entire team fought in the second half, and excited to keep this thing going.
That's Preston for any of you guys. The back and forth and the shootout of this game after that first quarter, after everybody got the mistakes out of their system, it seemed like in the first quarter. They have a freshman quarterback who throws for 4 TDs, hits one guy 3 times. That's for the first time in 15 years. What was just the sensation like of playing in a game with that kind of, like, you know, kind of like, I don't say running gun, but almost a running gun feel?
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, they played a hell of a game, offense and defensively. So definitely give them all the credit that they deserve. And, you know, from a personal standpoint, I was just kind of telling myself, like, this is what you dreamed for. This is what you've worked for. And so, you know, being able to ride those waves, I think it just comes back to where your security is. You know, for me, it's from a standpoint of you're not playing for victory, but you're playing from victory, because, you know, God's going to take care of everything, and I think that's where our head was the entire game.
Chris.
Caleb, in the second half, when Preston's 15 for 15, how did you see some of the passing plays and some of the success in the passing game open up holes for you in the run game?
I mean, we pride ourselves on winning in the run game, but today I feel like we were just a very balanced team. Like, have him, Griff, Hayden balling out early on in the game. It just makes our job easier. It helps our O-line out, and it's just goes back to us playing together. It's a brotherhood. So when everybody's doing their jobs and we're flying around, I feel like we could beat anybody.
Griffin, you got peppered with targets early in the game. What kind of confidence that give you being the top target right away and then Hayden catching up late?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, obviously as a receiver, any guy wants the ball in their hands. Como probably wants the ball in his hands as much as possible. So just getting the ball in your hands early and getting involved obviously builds a lot of confidence, and you kind of get into the rhythm of the game, and you kind of gain confidence as that goes. And then Hayden Elegon, man, I don't have enough good things to say about him. Maybe not getting the amount of targets he wanted early, and then coming in the second half, throwing up, I don't even know how many catches or yards, just being the guy is something that's so awesome to see from Hayden, and his growth has only been upwards, and so it's really awesome to see.
Jake, this goes for any of you, but how do you think just the adversity this team has gone through this year, whether it be some of those early losses, 3-game losing streak, has forged the character of this group and made it into the identity that it is now?
We're a very resilient team. That's something that we pride ourselves on. Bouncing back no matter who we're going against. So we're a team that's always going to fight back. No matter how many blows we take, we're going to be punching back.
Matt?
For Griffin and Preston, Griffin, I believe, looking over your stats, 11 catches is a college career high for you. Seemed like over the last few games that defenses were really keen on you. What clicked in this game, and how does it feel as two transfers to come in and lead this team back to a bowl game?
Yeah, obviously it feels good to be able to help the team as much as I can, and then, I just kind of have to give all the credit to the O-line, just holding up, keeping Preston Stone clean, and just allowing Preston to just play his game, and he's putting the ball wherever it needs to go.
A few more, Charlie.
So Caleb, early in the season, week 2, Cam Porter goes down, and you take over that lead back role. So what have you seen with your game that has evolved from back when you first took over that role to now?
I would say just decisiveness. I've become a little more decisive, getting more reps in the game, doing extra film with Coach, and then talking to Cam himself. He's always with us in our room, helping the guys out. So I feel like that's helped a lot.
Last one, Jake.
Preston, what does it mean to you through all the twists and turns that you've now found a way to extend your college career another month?
It's incredible. It almost brought a tear to my eye after the game because I said earlier, if I had it my way, I would keep playing with these guys for the rest of my life. And so we have a very special locker room. I love these guys and can't wait to keep the season going.